Creating Google Forms and viewing responses. The first thing you're going to do is make sure you're signed into your Northwest Google account, and then you're going to go to Google Drive. From here, you're going to go ahead and click on New, More, and Google Forms. Okay. As this pops up, you're going to go ahead and title your form. Note that you can add a form description. And then you'll come down here to type in your questions. So maybe you're asking a question to get feedback. You can choose which type of question you want to ask. So in this case, I would have a paragraph question. If I want to add a question, I click on the plus sign. Maybe this time I want them to paste a URL or a link. So I would maybe make this a short answer question. And you've also got some options here. When you click on the 3 vertical dots, you can choose data validation. And then I can say, maybe I want this to be text, and I want it to be a URL or an email address. So this just helps get the right response from your users. Note that you can make questions required, so if you want them to make sure they fill out this question before submitting the form, then you can do that. You can also duplicate questions if you've got something similar, you just want to edit it a little bit. If you want participants to upload a file, maybe it's a quick photo, note that there's a file upload option here as well. You can do checkboxes. So for photo, I would probably do a file upload. And then I can also do checkboxes. So maybe I want them to choose their favorite 3 topics, then I might do a checkbox option. And same thing, I've got data validation here, so I can say they need to select at least, at most, or exactly maybe 2 boxes. So there's several things that you can do to make sure that you get the right responses. Okay, we're going to look at the settings really quick. So you go into settings, note that collect email address is one of your options. You'll either want to include a name question, or I would suggest collecting the email address so that you know exactly who filled out the form. And if you're going to open this up to people outside the district, then you'll want to turn off the restrict to Northwest users. You can choose whether to limit them to 1 response and whether you want them to be able to edit the form. So these are good to look at depending on what your purpose for the form is. Whenever someone's filled out the form, you'll be able to view responses here. You'll get table chart data for whole response data, but then you'll also get individual responses. And if you need to share the responses with others, you can actually create a spreadsheet of responses. And you should title it with the same title as your form, and then create. So if I'm going to share the responses, then I can click on the Share tab. And I can share this just like any other Google Doc. So I can share with just specific people, or I could share anybody with a link can view those responses. Okay, and then the last thing is just the look of your form. So you can always go in and change like the color or add a background photo here to your form. And then in order to send your form, you're going to click on Send. And most likely you're probably going to gather the link. Note that you can shorten the link. This is great, especially if you're sticking this in an email, and then send this out to those who are going to fill out your form.